President and CEO of the Erie Community Foundation. Karen, welcome back. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we got Erin Fessler. She's the Vice President of was it government relations?
Yeah.
All the things.
The fun stuff.
All the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Erin.
Great to have us.
You got it.
Thanks.
I tell you what. 15 years. How did that happen? Right? Is it
15, 1-5.
1-5? Yes.
Yeah. Thanks.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
15 years, right?
Yeah.
And we even did it during COVID.
We did. Yeah. We almost stopped it, and the community needed Erie Gives more than ever at that time.
There's no doubt. Yeah. And you think about how well we did in 2020, even after that special gift, during COVID, where you were doing some emergency fundraising, right?
That's right.
I mean,
yeah, we raised $775,000 for COVID, and then a couple months later we did Erie Gives. So forgot about that. Yeah, that was pretty powerful.
All right, so let's make sure, because we're going to hit this multiple times. Let's make sure people understand the logistics of this all. It's Tuesday, August 12th, and it's midnight to midnight, which was a change from last year, right? Yeah.
Yeah, last year was the first year we went 24 hours.
Yeah.
And we actually saw that during the 12 a.m. until 8 a.m. that we got gifts coming in, and then the same thing after our phones stopped at 8 p.m. So it's worthwhile to make it a full 24 hours.
And in those off hours, we raised more than we did the first whole day of Erie Gives in 2011.
That's remarkable.
And what we find is people give from all across the country, so there's different time zones. People work second, third shifts. Mm-hmm. They get home, they go, oh, geez, and now they can log on and make their gift. I've had a couple people say, it was 11:45, and I remembered, and so they make their gift. So,
that used to be, it's 7:45, and I still haven't participated yet, right? And so now you got a little breathing room.
That's right. Phones are open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., but then the website is 24 hours.
Let's talk about phones versus website thing. Mm-hmm. Are people kind of getting, because the website is very robust, are people getting that part of it, you think? Or do they still like to talk to a human?
So last year we saw that about half of the gifts come in through checks. This is dollar-wise.
Okay.
And half come in through the online giving. But when somebody calls, we actually have our volunteers input it online, so those seem like online gifts.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's a little bit hard to answer that question because we know that the phones are busy all day long, like they're constantly ringing. And I tried to figure out if there's a way that we can count how many phone calls we get, because this is my curiosity as well.
Mm-hmm. You might have to go low tech and just have one of those clickers.
I think so.
As you pick up the phone, hit a clicker, right? How many operators, how many lines do you have at the Community Foundation?
We have pretty much everyone on board answering phones, and there's a staff of 19. But a lot of volunteers fill in for, like, Karen and I are busy with media.
Sure.
We have other teams busy with volunteers, with providing food for the staff to keep them going 12 hours.
But on the rotator, do they ever get busy?
Yeah, there's probably at least 10 people all the time.
Yeah.
Have people said sometimes it's busy, or like a busy signal, or?
The morning hour can be
the morning hour,
like the 8 to 9 can be
interesting.
Busy.
Yeah.
It's like people want to jump on and they call.
Right. Exactly.
And the other thing is that one call might take 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh.
So if you look in the booklet, there's the form that people can fill out if they send a check in. So people are calling in and they're doing maybe 10 gifts. So the volunteer is doing all of that typing into the online form. So sometimes people don't know what they don't know the name of the organization.
Sure,
so the volunteers help them out.
Do we know how many organizations have qualified for Erie Gives this year?
Right now we're at 539, and of that, 34 are brand new to Erie Gives.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So that's more than last year. Last year was about 513, and we had about 30 new ones last year. So the nonprofit sector is just full of passion to make our community better.
We kind of buried the lead here, but I tell you what, this highest dollar amount for the bonus bucks, tell me about that.
Sure. So we're doing some new things this year. We always like to keep Erie Gives new and fresh. And last year we did the website open from midnight to midnight. And this year what we're doing is we're waiving all the fees. And so we're taking the bonus bucks pool, which is the highest we've ever had.
Over 630?
Yeah, over 630,000, and still a little bit counting. And what we will do is cover all the fees, and then what's left remaining will be prorated like bonus bucks have always been. So last year was 480,000. That was strictly bonus bucks. So we think that this is something fun to make Erie Gives more accessible to everyone, covering fees. And it benefits the nonprofits. And they literally clapped when we told them we were doing this.
Is that right?
Yes.
So, I mean, there is kind of a rub there, though, because I would give more to cover the fees. So is that going to be a detriment a little bit, you think? Or
So we had that button as an option last year.
did a lot of people push it? Or
About 72% will cover the fees.
Yeah.
So we thought about keeping that as an option, but we're going to try this for this
Okay.
year. And then see. We always like to try things new that are different and then see what the results are.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I imagine for the nonprofits, they're jumping for joy, right?
Oh, sure.
I mean,
Sure.
that's amazing.
Sure.
630,000. That's a testament to our large organizations and our benefactors, right? I mean,
Right, and when you go to the website and look at who our sponsors are, we call them our community partners. We have a few new ones, and I thought it was really interesting that 4 of them are family-owned businesses in Erie. So like American Tinning and Galvanizing, that's the Schapner family.
Right.
Industrial Sales and Manufacturing, that's the Rutkowski family. Plastic is the Preshek family. And then the Hilbert family has been supportive of Erie Gives from the get-go. Wow. But they are a family-owned business. And this year, what is also new is our entire board has made a gift to the bonus bucks. So we have 100% participation.
well, that's
That.
fantastic.
But we have other community partners along the way, like the Believers from the beginning. And all of that adds up and really adds to the excitement. And it endorses what Erie Gives is all about.
Yeah, we were talking off air that Erie Gives is almost like a cultural phenomenon. Like somebody needs to do their master's degree, a thesis on Erie Gives, because it's so fascinating how our community has just adopted this way to celebrate philanthropy, to celebrate kind of the good things that are happening in our community and many for the least of these, for those that are less fortunate, right? I mean,
It really is, and I have worked in other communities, so that's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Is that Erie Gives has a very strong brand. People know about it. They plan for it. A lot of donors and individual organizations wait for Erie Gives to make their gifts. So we see it as something that really demonstrates the generosity of the Erie community in a way that's really unique, and I think it's exciting.
There's no doubt about it. You're also going to be doing like Facebook Lives. You're really going to incorporate media and social media and so on. Talk about some of that, Erin. I mean,
Sure. So every hour on the hour, beginning at 9 a.m., we will do a random drawing of $500 grants, which is provided by our community partners. And we bring in nonprofits to talk about their mission and what they're doing and how they're improving Erie, and then we do this random drawing. So it generates a lot of excitement, and we do an extra drawing during our special block party, which is taking place from noon to 1 this year. And we have all kinds of exciting things happening during that hour. And we're doing a second hour and a half in the evening. We're calling it the Sweet Treat Hour from 4:30 to 6. So kind of like a birthday celebration, with it being 15-year anniversary.
fantastic.
And
yeah.
so it's very exciting, and it just adds to the fun and flavor of Erie Gives.
There's no doubt about it. Come and get, bring your gift down, get something to eat, check out, hang out with your friends, and just kind of it's a celebration
Supporting
moment.
other local
Nonprofits.
nonprofits
Yeah.
and small businesses.
Amazing. Before I take my break, let's talk about last year, because we thought it was 8 million. It was over 9 million last year. $9.7 million raised in 24 hours. That just kind of, doesn't that just like take your breath away? Like, Because that would mean that to beat it, we're going to hit, what is that, 8 figures?
That'd be something.
I always say we'll just be happy to meet last year,
Right.
But it is amazing, and I think the other number that's really astonishing but also important to talk about is that represents over 11,000 donors.
Yes.
Like 11,000 people participate in Erie Gives. So if you think about the population here, that's
That's a pretty good
It's a good
chunk.
number,
yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And it makes you wonder, there's like what you always tell us when we're live there is that anybody could be a philanthropist for $25.
Right. Yeah.
And so maybe this is the year that the 18-year-old, has a little extra and wants to support their favorite, a charity.
Sure.
And they drop that 25 or $50,
Yeah, and last year we had a couple kids come in. One young man, maybe he was 5 or 6, set up his lemonade stand right across the street.
That's right.
But we had a couple of kids come in with different ways that they had put their money together, including two children of one of our board members. They brought in cash, and I said, well, we can't actually take cash. So I took the money myself and then put their gift into the system.
Right.
And they were just so excited to participate. You don't want to disappoint them by saying,
No,
"Oh no, we
yeah.
can't take it."
It's astounding that, again, something that is transformed from a, hey, this is a cool way to use the internet 15 years ago.
Right.
Again, the internet, it was around, but this was something
Yeah.
new, right?
Right.
To the point of it is a movement. It's a cultural phenomenon that is almost particularly eerie,
It's
this is like a moon mammoths before the moon mammoths, right?
It's a community spirited event like no other, really.
I agree.
I think that is one of the things that makes it unique to Erie is that it's not just about the online giving. The nonprofits themselves really think about it as their annual campaign almost, really reaching out to their donors in the community as a way to gain new donors also. And in other communities, it was really a strategy to just get more people who were younger,
Right.
because the online method. So it was more of a method, and I think Erin's right. It's not a strategy here. It's a day of giving. It's so different.
I want to, when we come back after the break, I want to talk about the user experience because that went, that went light years ahead last year, and so we want to go through what people will do, and then we need to start talking about some of the charities that people might be interested in. So we are talking to our friends from the Erie Community Foundation. Erie Gives, Tuesday, August 12th, coming up here. Erie Gives, Tuesday, August 12th, midnight to midnight at eriegives.org. Our friends from the Erie Community Foundation, Karen and Erin. Does everybody have to be an N? Lauren, do you have any Laurens?
Right.
Or,
No,
That's
Lauren's.
my
No.
Sharon's.
All right. So, hey, Sharon's,
Yeah.
Let's talk about the mechanics, because what's super cool about eriegives.org is you can, let's say there's a name of a charity that you've been supporting or you maybe heard about. Well, you can take a deep dive on the Erie Gives website about this charity. So, I mean, and it's everything, what? Videos, it's bullet points, it's what the money might be used for. Talk about that stuff.
Yeah, the platform that we use, we instituted a few years ago, thanks to Erin and her team, and it really allows the nonprofit themselves to go on and build their page. So it has videos, it has photos, so the nonprofit can, some of them decide to say, this is the project we're raising money for on Erie Gives Day. They can really describe it. So somebody who doesn't know anything about the organization might be really intrigued to donate, but also somebody who was already going to give to that organization might get hooked and say, oh, I'm going to give a little bit more. I don't know if you want to add any more detail to that.
Sure.
Erin.
So you can even go and search by education, health, human services,
The-
children,
the-
animals.
The different categories.
Right. Because they all have words in their profile that will filter that out for you. So right now we're reaching out to every single nonprofit because some of them just have their name up. So we want them all polished and ready to go by August 12th. Because we have donors from all over the country that are learning about what's going on in Erie, PA. And if they just have their name up there, well, that's not the best advertising. And as Karen was mentioning before, part of this day is a lot of nonprofits don't have a marketing budget.
Most
They don't have a way
don't.
to advertise. They don't have. They don't have donor development.
Yeah.
This Erie Gives really elevates their profile out in the community and their mission and the good work that they're doing.
I mean, you think about, you could be somebody that has an affinity for Erie. Maybe you're an Erie expat, but you're living in Colorado or whatever, and you just want to support veterans organizations. Well, you wouldn't know who's on the ground in Erie anymore, right? And so you would do the search on veterans or whatever and find out and maybe learn about, one of my favorites is Harvest 912, which is, giving new shoes and going in to help sustain homeless veterans. I mean, it's a remarkable organization, but how would you find out about them without hearing their story or seeing their video or whatever on the Erie Gives website, right? I mean,
You just Google it. And we have a lot of alumni who grew up in Erie and have graduated and moved on and started a career, and they always want to seem to give back and give back to their communities. We also are home to Corey, Northeast, Union City, and Finley Lake community foundations. So all of those communities have people who have now scattered throughout the world and throughout the United States. So they all seem to come home and make their gift online.
that's fantastic. Do we hear from all 50 states?
Yes, all 50 states. In fact, last year we had all 50 states. Actually, it might have been 49. In fact, we were talking about how someone's going to fly out to, I can't remember which state did it.
From Wyoming, so
Right.
you can
Oh.
send in a gift, right?
I'm sorry, it was 45 states
45
last
states,
year.
okay.
18 countries, though, including
Yes.
Canada, Ireland, France, Germany, and Sweden. And so,
Which is super interesting because there's
Right.
they can't get a tax write-off
Right.
for giving a gift here in Erie, which
Right.
is, that's super cool.
and it could be somebody traveling abroad. We did have someone serving in Iraq who gave a gift that had their home base in Erie. So you just never know what the profile of that donor is and how the mission matters.
I always ask you this question, Karen, but this is really a labor of love for the staff at the Erie Community Foundation because, the 364 other days of the year, you guys, you have a job too to do, to be in touch with high worth individuals and also all these nonprofits and building building capacity, building governance, and all the, there's a lot of work that you all do. but then you have this big monster event. It's like having Celebrate Erie, tapped on top of your small staff. Pretty remarkable when you think about it.
It is remarkable, but it's really aligned with our mission in so many different ways. First of all, what we do with all of our other work through our grant making is try to build the capacity of our local nonprofits.
Yeah.
So this is doing exactly that. It's helping them build not only the resources financially that they need for the year, but also their donor list. Mm-hmm. That's the one takeaway that we really try to drive
and that
home.
There's a real connection.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they put their toe in the water with a nonprofit at Erie Gives, that it could mean a lifelong relationship, couldn't it?
And we think about it the same way at the foundation. So most of our ongoing relationships with our donors are long term. So they're leaving estate gifts. They maybe have a fund that they support at the foundation. But Erie Gives is a way to introduce the foundation to people who may not see themselves as a philanthropist. And then we say, hey, everybody can do this.
Wow.
We work with people, not just wealthy people, but people from all different walks of life.
I think another thing that you've taught us about Erie Gives is that it is unrestricted. And so when you get a grant from the community foundation, it's usually for some kind of a project. Mm-hmm. We need a new copier or, a vehicle, van or whatever, or, a construction project. This really sometimes could be the rubber meets the road so they can make it through the mm-hmm. third and fourth quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. The hardest money to come by for nonprofits is unrestricted typically. And Erie Gives is really, people are supporting the organizations for their mission-related work, and that's how the grants go out.
We're talking about Erie Gives here on the Joel Natale Show. Stay with us. We're going to take a break at the bottom of the hour here and learn more about it. Learn about some of these great charities here and some of the great folks that are coming together here to help raise all this funds. It is a day that everybody could be a philanthropist. Erie Gives on Tuesday, August 12th. Thanks for tuning in to Talk Erie and the Joel and Natalie Show, live from our Kingdom Financial Group studio here. And we are talking to our friends from the Erie Community Foundation. And again, it's Erie Community Foundation that made it happen that we could even move downtown. And, of course, we're super excited because this, I think, Shani, we're talking, we did our first Erie Gives in 2019, and we've been, this will be 2015. That's 7 of them. 7 of the 15. Hello.
Pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Erin Fessler, Karen Biloweth are with us here from the ECF here. And, again, we've seen a steady growth. But even my brain didn't remember that we had hit over 9.7 million last year. And we actually, at least I have the audacity, I know you do too, of thinking that this could go to 10 million this year.
It'd be fun to manifest that, wouldn't it?
I like how you think, Erin.
It's been over 66.3 million in 14 years. So that would put us at 76. That would be beautiful for our community.
I mean, you think about that, and it's all in the nonprofit sector, and you're like, wow, is that impact? Boom. What has been done? Think about the organizations that you have affinity to or that have some knowledge about and what they've been able to do with that. We love to talk about COVID because it was such a crazy time. But if you remember, basic needs took huge help. So Second Harvest, Erie City Mission, the basic needs were noted here. But we love the bunnies and we love the kitties and we love education. A lot of educational nonprofits. Can we talk about some of the nonprofits who really kind of does well and who might be new? Let's talk through some of those.
Sure.
I mean, they're in the book here, right?
They're in the book, yes. So this Sunday, this magazine that I brought to you, it's the 2025 Erie Gives Nonprofit Directory. And there are 539 registered, but not every single one is listed in this magazine. However, you can go to the Erie Gives website and download the full list and kind of start mapping out who you want to give to. And what I always like to say is, what causes matter to you? So, do you like to ride your bike around the peninsula? Presque Isle Partnership might be for you. Right. Do you know somebody who has special needs? Voices for Independence might be for you. But the full list is there, and then you can just kind of go through and think about what causes matter to you. So, do you take your children to the zoo? Are you a big advocate for helping the homeless and helping the hungry? There's multiple nonprofits who you can support. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's just a great magazine that you can pick up in the Sunday paper coming up this Sunday. In this magazine, you'll also find the Erie Gives check contribution form. So this magazine is coming out earlier than last year because we'd like to get all the checks in by August 5th.
Okay, so, that's a good deadline to know about.
Yes, that is the ideal scenario for our staff because it's a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes.
So just for giggles here, if you get your checks in on August 5th, on the 12th at midnight, will that immediately go on the numbers or no?
No. So
how does that work?
We like to receive the checks early, and we have that deadline early, so that our staff has time to basically input them all, but then throughout the day we release those into the system. Number one, not to overwhelm the system, but also so that it keeps the excitement up during the day.
I hear you. That's exactly.
Yeah. But a lot of people ask that question. They think if they sent their check-in ahead of time that they will immediately see their name listed. So we have to remind everybody that throughout the day we'll be uploading those checks onto the website.
Here's a couple of ones that I have not heard about. The Dylan Matz Foundation, scholarship opportunities for Erie County seniors obtaining undergraduate degrees and raise awareness of male domestic violence in honor of Dylan Matz. So there's something new there, but there's something old here. Since 1937, the Erie branch of the NAACP committed to fighting for civil rights and equality in the Erie community. 3 Pillars
Yep, that's a good
Farm.
Yeah.
Yep.
What are they about? Let's see. With the loss of family farms, we aim to reverse the trend and reintroduce agriculture through a different lens. Isn't that something? Project Healing Waters, Healing Americans Veterans, Therapeutic Art of Fly Fishing. Boy, there is so many different.
So many causes.
Wow.
It's probably even causes that you haven't even thought about.
No.
Like the community colleges in here. Well, the community
Right.
college didn't exist when we first launched Erie Gives. Another story I like to tell is that we, for the 7th straight year, Ella Patterson and Elena Adams are hosting their lemonade stand.
Oh.
And this year they're supporting Taylor's Hope, and that is for people who are suicidal, that you can give the hope that Taylor wanted legacy to be left behind. But they're doing that on Sunday, August 3rd from 3 to 6. And then we're going to be doing a press release on that. But then we just started a fun partnership with artist Lee Shattuck. He already created artwork of every nonprofit that's participating in Erie Gives.
How did he do that?
No, it's a passion that he has.
Yeah.
And so he and his partner Winnie are going to be selling that artwork and donating a majority of the proceeds to the Erie Gives bonus bucks pool. So it's really fun what he's done with everyone's logos or their buildings. So that is on his website now, but he is just another new partner that we have. So there's a lot of pop-ups that happen, like what brides and grooms will use this as their wedding favor. In lieu of a wedding favor, we made a gift on Erie Gives.
Nice.
And in lieu of giving me a gift for my 50th birthday, give $50 to your favorite nonprofit. Or it's our anniversary, give in honor of our anniversary. So you see a lot of that happen during Erie Gives. So it's really, like we mentioned, a community spirit event. Like everyone's trying to do something to make Erie Gives better.
It is remarkable in it by having it so broad, having so many different things. You really can know that there's going to be some charity there that you're going to want to give to. I mean,
Yeah. You already mentioned this, but I think it's so helpful that the website does allow you to search by topic.
yeah.
And the booklet that Erin mentioned, it goes in alphabetical order, so you almost have to know either what the organization is or just read through it all like you were doing, Joel. But on the website, you can search under your area of interest and maybe come up with a new organization that you didn't know about.
I was looking at the St. Paul's Free Clinic, where I grew up at St. Paul's, right? That's in the Little Italy neighborhood. Here's this organization that's been around for over 30 years providing health care. And it's an organization that people can support here. The what I love about your partners too is, yes, we see some big names. Of course, the Erie Community Foundation, Erie Insurance, and Wabtec, they're all gold partners. But like you say, you have family organizations, family businesses that are contributing. You have GDIC, that they're a bronze sponsor. Of the bonus bucks. See, the casino is a silver sponsor. NVNet and National Fuel and McDonald Illig and copper sponsors. It's remarkable to see everybody getting together, and of course your board of directors, all 100%, all of the members of the board supporting bonus bucks for Erie Gives. I've got about 10 minutes left, and I want to make sure that we cover everything. And this is a kind of an interesting time for those fee-for-service type organizations that we have here. You think about, gosh, how many, we love like Erie Homes for Children and Adults, and they do very well at Erie Gives. But, I don't know how much of their lifeline comes from the federal government. And a lot of that aid is tenuous, isn't it? Can you talk? I mean, again, you have your finger on the pulse of philanthropy right now.
Yeah. So through our community impact grants, we actually have been able to start to understand the impact locally of any cuts in federal funding, and it could be funding that comes actually through the state of Pennsylvania, but the original source is through the federal government, so it's a little hard to trace that.
Yeah.
But one of the things we saw in our last round of grants, especially with our Helping Today program, is just hearing that times are tough right now. Not necessarily that organizations have actually lost funding, but there's some uncertainty that is out there in the community. We are partnering with the Nonprofit Partnership and a group of Gannon professors with the Civic Impact Partnership to do a survey of the local nonprofits to find out more specifically what those impacts are. And that will help us, not only it helps the Nonprofit Partnership plan for its programming, like how can we help at this very moment, like what are the things we can be doing, but it also helps the Community Foundation to think about how we should best be allocating our funding. And are there other opportunities where we can use our really broad network to tell the story? And that's what we've been doing more recently with the Refugee Resettlement Organization. So they have lost funding from the federal government for those programs. We know that the refugee resettlement community is really important to Erie in terms of jobs, in terms of home ownership. They become an integrated part of our community, and frankly, the only way that our community has grown in population over the past few years. So we're asking, in partnership with the 3 resettlement organizations, how can our funding help support what you need right now and develop a longer-term solution if this funding doesn't come back? And that's a really important sort of longer-term approach.
Sure.
Erie Gives helps meet the moment, and we can think about how we can help over the course of the next, say, 5 years.
That's cool. Along that point, when you consider like kind of the major issues that Erie's facing, we talk about homelessness and we talk about housing, we talk about childcare, we we talk about workforce, honestly, training and education and so on. Are there elements in the nonprofit world that obviously there are that are addressing this? Is Erie Gives a good place to kind of speak up towards that as a citizen and a donor,
I think it is. I mean, you've just really named all of the top priority issues.
Well, that's the ones we talk
community.
about,
And the nonprofits play a really important role in the solution. So there are a couple, there are big community level strategies to help support the big solutions. But the individual nonprofits all have a role, and I think individual donors are really important to supporting those nonprofits. So as a real example, going back to the refugee resettlement community, we've had donors who have responded to our Rapid Response Fund to say, hey, I want to make a gift, but I want it to support this organization.
Right.
And we say, that's great, but just give it directly to that organization then. And that's kind of what Erie Gives is. It's like, I want to support homelessness, but I really want to do that through this specific organization. Right. Well, that's great. This is the way you do that. So it takes both types of philanthropy and, the bigger foundational support that the Community Foundation otherwise gives, but also individual donations.
And so, you think about, again, we mentioned the city mission. You could be talking about Jeannie Haggerty's group, there's just so many different things that are into, let's say, homelessness and, finding permanent housing. That's just one area. And I would imagine there's nonprofits involved in the childcare space and certainly in the education. We talk about the community college or other organizations that are teaching young people, whether it's the Y or what have you. You can make an impact on really what are the presenting issues of our day in Erie, Pennsylvania, and also those favorite charities or those relationships. Again, you think about a nonprofit. If you're in management or if you're in leadership of a nonprofit, your goal is to build strong donor relationships. And Erie Gives oftentimes is that first bud that starts the relationship. That could mean a significant partnership through the years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure, we'll have donors who are introduced to a nonprofit through Erie Gives, and then when they go to set up an endowment for more permanent, long-term charitable giving, they start to name those nonprofits in their endowment. And so you never know what Erie Gives is going to, how it's going to inspire, empower, and engage somebody to be a part of making Erie better.
So 3 minutes left. All right. Okay. So let's make sure everybody knows their marching orders. Okay. Yes. So Tuesday, August 12th, midnight to midnight.
Website's
and
open.
What do you want? And the website's open. Phones turn on at 8 until 8 o'clock.
That's right. And then we're having a couple special fun parties. We're having a block party from noon to 1. So that's when your nonprofit can register to win a $500 random drawing. We're going to have Smiley's Ice Cream Truck, E-Dog's Truck, Waffle Miracle, a bunch of local mascots. We have entertainment being performed by many of the Erie Gives nonprofits. We have bocce with the Special Olympic athletes and our staff. We're going to have interpretive performance by the deaf and hard of hearing individuals, and then contemporary integrational orchestra project. So I'm not even sure what that one's about, so I'm looking forward to it. Then from 4:30 to 6, we're having a sweet treat hour. Nice. We'll have All Seas Ice Cream Truck, Peace, Love, and Little Donuts, and the Sunday Vegan Gourmet Dessert and Ice Cream Bakery Truck. And we think one of our local weathermen might be broadcasting live, Tom DeVecchio. So that's in the works. So we're really just trying to create a fun day of celebration, celebrating our community, and having demonstrate the power of collective giving. So even if like each one of us gave $25 to one of our favorite nonprofits, that's $100. Yeah. That's more impactful than our $25 standing alone. So, it's our 15th anniversary, and I mentioned the Elena and Ella. Those two are 14 years old, and they've been doing lemonade stands for 7 years.
Is that right?
Yeah, Erie Gives is older than some of our biggest supporters of Erie Gives. So every dollar matters. Every dollar adds up.
We mentioned that $66.3 million has been raised over the course of those 15 years. That first year, when everybody was like scratching their heads to see if this would be a thing, I remember when that $771,000 was raised. That was a big deal. It's like, right. How did we do that?
Right.
And to think that, this is the last 5 years. 6.3 in 2020. 7 million in 2021, 8.2 million in 2022, and I'm rounding, 8.3 million in 2023, and 9.7 million in 20. I'm like,
it's pretty special.
It kind of catches you, doesn't it?
It does. And Erie Gives was going to be one and done. It was to celebrate the Erie Community Foundation's 75th anniversary. It was just a gift that we wanted to give back to the community. And we modeled it after other giving days across the country. Sure. And then here we are, it's our 90th anniversary, and we're having the 15th anniversary of Erie Gives. So I remember that board meeting after the first Erie Gives, as you mentioned, and we raised $771. And one of the board members said, well, that worked. Let's just do that again. And, okay. And so, meanwhile, they're all retired off of our board now. But so it's really fascinating. Like you said, it'd be interesting to have a class study on the psychology of it.
There's no doubt.
And then the financial impact and advertising that's purchased and T-shirts and everywhere you look, you see something with the Erie Gives. We were driving across 8th Street today, and we saw Shriners putting up their Erie Gives sign. And the Erie Art Museum has Erie Gives in front of their remodeling.
You go on the beach right now, Discover Prescott, right? The Prescott Partnership. Yeah. It's all over the place.
Signs
Erie
are
Gives.
everywhere.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
It's a way that you can make an impact, and like you know what we always say is that give until it doesn't have to hurt,
right? But
maybe pinch,
yeah,
right? And it's a moment that you can be part of something much greater than yourself.
That's right.
And whether you give to one organization or 50 of them, you could really make a big difference.
Right. And I think a shout out needs to go out to our staff, because in 2011, it was just a marketing communication, not just, but it was just an event. It was just another celebration we were doing. And now you fast forward 15 years later, and we have staff teams that work on different parts of Erie Gives to make it all even better each year. And so, we have a finance team, and we have a technology and volunteerism and food for the staff and marketing and communications and storytelling. Like, that can't just be an event that comes out of a marketing communications department. It has to come from the whole Erie Community Foundation, and the board supports it. The 250,000 of that 630,000 bonus bucks is endorsed by the board. So that's an investment. So Erie Gives is more than just an event. It's an investment in our community and to make our community better.
So well said.
Very well said, Erin. Thank you.
We're going to leave it there. Karen Biloweth, President and CEO. Erin Fessler, Vice President of Marketing, Community, and Government Relations. Erie Gives, Erie Community Foundation, eriegives.org, Tuesday, August 12th. Thank you, ladies. Appreciate it very much. It is 4:55 here on Talk Erie. Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show here.